Hello everyone, Carol Garrison with Carol's Creative Escape. How's everyone doing tonight? It is Monday, April 12th, and I'm just gonna give everybody a second or two to join into the live, and as usual get it to pop up on my iPad so I can follow comments and hopefully see who's out there watching this video tonight. Hopefully I'm in the right spot. If it doesn't show up quickly here, I'm going to kill it and start over again. Yes, I see I've got Linda Morris Hobbs watching, so I know I'm out there. Welcome, Linda. I appreciate you taking your time out of your evening to watch tonight. There we go. Now I can see it on my page, and let me get... And April's out there too. Hey, April, how are you? And I didn't turn my volume down, so we'll do that real quick right now. Okay, perfect. So tonight I have a fun card to share with you. Again, it's another card that I received from a fellow demonstrator that participated in a fun fold card swap with me. And I really like... Hi, Twyla, how are you? Really liked how this card looked. And again, if you saw my Thursday's tip from last week, it was to start using this gorgeous designer series paper that we had. I'm doing fine, April. Thanks for asking. And one of the things that I want to start doing more of is making sure I'm incorporating a lot of my designer paper into my cards. And it's always at this time of year that this sort of comes to the forefront for me, because it's the end of our calendar year, catalog year, and I start looking at the bits and pieces that I haven't used that are retiring, so I know I can't use it in classes anymore. But I will still use it in cards, and tonight I've got a few samples of the card that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to walk through how to make this card. I did have to make a last minute change to the directions that I provided, and I apologize. The measurement for the card base, I originally had it posted as 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and it's actually 5 1/2 by 11 inches, and that's kind of an unusual size for cardstock, because it's either usually 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 or 4 1/4 by 11, and this one is a combination of the two, with it being 5 1/2 by 11. So hopefully you caught that. I apologize if you didn't. Quick take a minute or two to go cut that size, and you'll be good to go for joining. And like with all of my videos, if you make this card, please make sure that you post a picture of it in the comments down below. I really like to see what other people are doing, and get ideas from you guys as well. And certainly we've got lots of talented people out there watching the video that can share some of their creativity with the group too. So this is the Accordion Fold, and this is a card that I received from Nancy Petschauer, who's a part of a group that I'm in, and she did kind of a monotone black and white card using the Accordion Fold. Excuse me, I want to make sure that I'm getting her information correct on what she used. I'm just going to pull this label off real quick. So she used the basic black cardstock, and then her designer series paper was the True Love designer series paper, and that is an all black and white paper that she was utilizing. And the stamp set that she used was the Hey Girlfriend, just so that you're connected with what you're seeing in front of you here. So with this Accordion Fold card, it opens up like this, and so you've got this big piece of designer series paper, you have a slightly smaller piece, and then you've got this narrow strip here too, and then you still have a space to put your greeting. And then she just had it held closed with a skinny belly band with a punch from the Hey Girlfriend stamp set. So that was her monochromatic version of this card. And then I wanted to do a bright colored card, and one of our stamp sets that came back in as part of the January to June catalog, was pulled out of retirement actually, is this Hey Chick stamp set. And that is because it coordinates nicely with a stamp that is in the annual catalog. I want to say it's called Birthday Chick. And now, of course, I can't remember it. I had it earlier in my head. If anybody out there knows which one I'm talking about, help me, help me. Anyhow, they brought this one back because it coordinated so nicely with that other chicken set. And I've always liked this goofy looking chicken with the wild hair. So I thought I'm going to make a bright colored one here using that Hey Chick stamp set. I colored it in using blends, and this designer series paper is part of the paper packages that you could buy if you signed up during Celebration. You could get those as part of your signing on bonus at that time, but these papers will also be in the new annual catalog that'll be coming out. This happens to be the Brights collection, so I've got the Pacific Point, Poppy Parade, and Daffodil Delight are kind of the color focuses. And then I use Granny Apple Green as my background. So I've got the Hey Chick with that colorful chicken on the front. And then I did a 3/4 inch belly band on this card. I just thought it needed something heavier with that big circle with my chicken on it. And when you open it up, it's got a very colorful chicken in there and Have a Happy Day. And then again, you can see that you see the bigger piece of that paper. I just like the different colors and the different patterns. I really like this layout. So that is one example. And kind of the goofy side, fun to send to a girlfriend maybe who's having a rough day and just needs a quick pick-me-up. Then I did a slightly more mellow tone, but with a bigger focal point on the front. And this is using the Forever Floral. I am terrible with names. Any of you that have watched me or been to my classes, you know I don't do my names right. Forever Fern stamp set. That set is carrying over in the new annual catalog, so that'll be great. Sadly, this designer series paper will not be carrying over, but that doesn't really come as a surprise. But this is the Forever Greenery designer series paper, in case you want to try to catch it before it's all sold out. And basically I did it using kind of an old olive color motif. Did some second generation stamping to get the lighter stamps in the background here. Used some of the ribbon that came with the Ornate Suite, which is, hello Kay, how are you tonight? It was with the Ornate Suite set, and that ribbon will be retiring at the end of this catalog year. And then I did on this one a 1-inch belly band, again because my front here was so big. So opening it up, it looks like I forgot to put my center panel in, but we'll just pretend that there's something here. I wasn't actually going to stamp anything on the inside. This note with the hello on it made me think that it really should be just blank so that you could write a note to a friend. And so I will finish it off right here with my piece of cardstock. I don't always put stamped images in the front. So here we've got the hello with these 3 different patterns. Again, what I really like about this card is that it allows you to show off and coordinate and mix and match your patterns so easily without any problems. So what I want to do now is just show you how to make this card and make sure that I'm giving you correct measurements as I go through the process. And so to start with, what you need is a 5.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. And we are actually going to be scoring on here 3 different score lines. And those score marks are going to be occurring at, I want to make sure I give it to you correctly, 1 1/4, 4 inches, and 6 3/4. And I'm using the Simply Scored tool from the catalog. And what I like about this is, especially if I'm doing multiple cards, I can actually have markers in place so I know exactly where to score when I put my piece of paper in. So I'm just going to lay it with the 11-inch side along the top here. And again, I'm going to use my stylus, and we'll score at 1 1/4, 4 inches, and 6 3/4. And I think that this card is really easy to make once you've done it once or twice. I think the hardest part is figuring out which way to fold things, because you're not going to be able to use the usual Valley Mountain type folding rule that we normally go by. So again, you've got your 5 1/2 by 11 scored at 1 1/4, 4, and 6 3/4. And then you need a piece of designer series paper that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, a second piece that is 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/4, and then a third piece that is 1 inch, actually that goes there, 1 inch by 5 1/4, and then you need a piece of either the basic white or very vanilla, depending on what cardstock you're using, or your designer series paper. And that piece is also going to be 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. And then you will also need for your belly band, and again, I am doing a slightly, in fact, I didn't cut my belly band correctly. I can tell that that is not 11. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Whew, momentary panic. You need to have a belly band that measures 9 3/4 inches. And again, I'm choosing to do 1 inch on my belly band. You can really up, you know, I've got 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and then an inch on these 3 cards. It just depends on what you're putting on the front, how big you need it to help support that piece on the front of the card. Again, I'm choosing to do the 1 inch here because I think it's going to look a little better with what I'm putting on the front. And then you're going to embellish it however you want on the front with whatever greeting and images that you want to use. I am going for my masculine card here. I looked at my May calendar at the office, and we have a couple of guy birthdays in May. I actually have 2 guys, 2 females, 2 men, 2 women. And so I'm going to be working on getting cards put together for that group. So let's go ahead and get started now that we've got our measurements. We're going to take our card base and we're going to fold it simply by taking on that 1 1/4 inch, folding it in. And I'm going to burnish that in. I've said in the past, I mean, anytime you have fun fold cards, you really want to make sure that you get a good burnished edge. And then we're just going to fold it over so it kind of folds in on itself. So at that 6 3/4 mark, you're going to fold it over and go ahead and burnish that in. And then this is our, what was my score mark here? Our 4 inch score mark on this one. So we want to burnish that edge too. And that just gives you nice good creases. To assemble the card, we're going to take the largest piece of designer series paper and your adhesive of choice. And adhere that. Well, I hope everybody's had a good weekend. We're hitting a period of rain and gray. And for some reason, the rain was, I thought, supposed to stop today, and then we'd have sunshine because it wasn't raining, but the sun didn't come out today, and we actually had some rain showers. So I think tomorrow is supposed to be the same. In fact, they've actually thrown the S word, snow, into our forecast. Fortunately, we're late enough into the season. I don't think it will stick, but I just, on principle, don't think we should have to deal with that anymore this year. It'll melt if it falls. And we'll be good to go. I'm just anxious to get spring going and have our flowers coming up and things like that. Anybody else anxious for that? Okay, and then I'm going to add my last piece of Designer Series paper. And this is also the In Good Taste Designer Series paper that I'm using. This, in an unusual situation, is carrying over. I love this paper because the backgrounds are so good for just about any type of card you make. But again, I think it gives us a really nice masculine looking card as well. So now we've got these pieces put together. And I am making this into a happy birthday card. And so again, because I'm going to be having people sign this at work, I'm going to keep my inside piece empty, just so there's room for people to sign. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this as well. Okay, so we've got that look. The next part is to assemble the belly band. Now, I know some people score their belly bands. I have never been one to do that because I find that I might be off just a little bit and it doesn't work very well. And so I prefer, when I'm doing belly bands, to simply take it and get it as straight as I can, you know, this part straight. So then I will fold over this flap and just kind of press in the crease there. And before I fold over this next flap, I actually run my adhesive onto the end of my cardstock strip. That way when I fold it over, I can secure it right away. So I'm going to just do that and then stick it back in. That's what works best for me. If it works better for you to score yours, go for it. And then I'm just going to fold it over, and I use the edges to make sure that I have it lined up correctly. And again, I'm just going to rub in a little bit there. Then I'm going to slide this off, and I will burnish just to make it a little crisper here. And then I actually take the piece where I've seamed it together, and that goes on the front of my card. And the reason I do that is I can cover it up with the label that I put on the front of my card, and then you never see it. So one other tip with this card, I find that when you're, any card you're doing belly bands on, if you just kind of curve it a little bit when you're putting it into your, no, it's not going to work because I'm on camera, into the belly band, it slides in just a little bit better. And so we're going to go with that. Sorry if I'm not responding to comments. I'm not really seeing them go across my screen. It looks like Anne is watching. Hey Anne, how are you? I actually talked to her just before I went live, or texted her. I guess we didn't really talk. We texted, but same difference. Our message got communicated anyhow. All right, and then to add just a pop of color, I am using the tree from the Rooted in Nature stamp set. Sadly, this set is also going to retire. I've enjoyed this set. Just, again, if you know me, you know I like to be outside and in the woods hiking and things like that. So what I did to do this stamp is I actually used my Stamp-Right markers to color the stamp. I just grabbed my Old Olive and my basic brown, or my early espresso, and I colored the trunk in on my stamp, and then colored the top of the tree in, and then I kind of did the huff technique just to make sure that it was moist, and stamped it, and then I die cut it out with the coordinating dies that go with that. So this is the Rooted in Nature set. Again, it is in the clearance rack because it will be retiring. And then I also used from this Happy Thoughts stamp set the Happy Birthday Greeting. I like the mix of fonts, and I actually got fancy with this one and embossed it. I don't know if you can see the shine at all when I'm holding it up to the camera, but it is embossed and raised up just a little bit. Sometimes I think that adds a little bit of class to a card. And I was playing a little bit with how I was going to put this on my card, and I'm hoping I can get it to go back It kind of fell into place in a cool way when I was stacking it up so that the two went together. And that's how I'm going to do the front of my card. So now that I have it laid out like that, I'm going to quick flip it over and put some dimensionals on. And I'm going to kind of depend on the dimensionals to hold my layout together. So that is where I'm going to add a couple. And I'll be able to adhere it to my belly band. The dimensionals are kind of running right here. And so that will be supported then by the belly band as well. But it sort of fell that way. And I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. And for any of you watching, if you are a current customer of mine and have placed an order with me in the last 18 months, you will be receiving the new catalog shortly in the mail. If you are not a current customer of mine and do not have a demonstrator somewhere in the U.S., I would be happy to get a catalog to you. Just drop me a private message and I can get that information or get the catalog out to you once I get the information from you. Some really cool things in this catalog. I can't wait to start sharing it with you again. But here you go. Hi, Anne. Thank you. I appreciate that. I struggle so much with the masculine cards that I'm challenging myself each week during my Make It Monday to have at least one of them that is a masculine card. So this is it for tonight. So thanks a lot for joining me, everyone. Again, let me give you a quick sneak at all, or peek again at all of the cards that we made. Here's the one we did tonight. Happy Birthday using Early Espresso and Old Olive. This card is using, and again, using the Rooted in Nature stamp set with the Happy Thoughts greeting. This particular card is using the Forever Fern stamp set and coordinating designer series paper. And again, I don't have anything on the inside of that. I'm using the designer series paper really to make this card pop. Here is the sample that I received in a card swap, kind of a monochromatic, using the Hey Girlfriend stamp set. And then for the brightly colored version of this card, I've got that Hey Chick stamp that I colored. And of course, I did put Wink of Stella on this card too. You know that Stella makes an appearance usually, but I thought this goofy chicken still needed a little more sparkle on that. And then this one on the inside, I did, because it's already so brightly colored, I did do another one of the chicks from that stamp set and colored it kind of goofy and bright as well. This card hopefully will brighten up somebody's day when they get it. So I appreciate everybody who took time to watch me tonight. And if you know of other people who might be interested in my videos, please be sure to share it with them. And if you make this card tonight, I would love to see what you create. So share it in the comments down below. And I know you already have one of these, so I hope I get to see it in the comments below tonight too. And if you can't get it done tonight, feel free to come back later in the week and post it there as well. Stop back on Thursday to my Carol's Creative Escape Gathering place for a Thursday tip. And we will see you again on next Monday for another Make It Monday. Hopefully we'll have some sunshiny weather and a little bit more spring-like weather here in Minnesota. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.